Assalamualaikum, my name is Ashikin Binti Mohamad Mizan and I am the first presenter.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is FATINI Binti Mohamad AZAHARI and I'm the second presenter.
Child maltreatment could be defined as any action of abusing and neglecting children which are under the age of 18. Not only that, JNUN 2016 stated that child maltreatment refers to when a child has been physically or emotionally injured, sexually assaulted or neglected in terms of their foods, shelter, clothing, medical support and others. Children and young people have the same general human rights as adults and also specific rights that recognize their special needs. Children are nation's most valuable asset which helps in creating the country's bright future and achieving dreams to be a prosperous nation. Therefore, the study will be conducted by focusing on the perceptions among students UiTM Seremban 3 on the factors that influence child maltreatment incident in Malaysia. Among the factors that will be measured in this study are mental health and income instability. Moreover, this study will involve 360 students of UiTM Seremban 3 as a sample. Next is problem statement. Child maltreatment has become a serious ongoing social problem in Malaysia, considering recent lifestyle in which individuals are less concerned with their children's emotional and well-being due to uncontrollable use of smartphone and other gadgets. The Department of Social Welfare Malaysia have shown the statistical cases of child abuse that keep on increasing from 2013 until 2017, which is from 4,119 to 5,537 cases. In addition, income instability faced by people due to low payment of wages and high cost of living has increased the pressure among people and contributed to social problems in society, such as child maltreatment issue. Not only that, the level of mental health among society nowadays is in a worrying state as many cases of suicide and violence, such as child abuse, are increasingly reported in the media. Thus, there is an urgent need to investigate the factors that are influencing child maltreatment issue to get the latest information and more accurate data that can be used to reduce the case of child maltreatment in Malaysia.
Next, we have 3 research objectives, which is the first one is to study the level of the perception on the issue of the child maltreatment among the student UiTM Seremban 3. Number 2, to determine the relationship between the mental health and perception among the student UiTM Seremban 3. And for number 3, which is the last one, is to identify the relationship between the income instability and perception of the students UiTM Seremban 3. While for the scope of study is, the students that involved in this research study is limited into 3 faculty, which are the Faculty of Administrative Science and Policy (FSPP), the Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation (FSR), as lastly, the Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Science (FSKM). Moreover, the study is limited in times allocated, which is must be complete in 2 semesters from the March 2022 until March 2023, and the data collection of the respondent is conducted for 5 weeks before being analysed.
Next, let's move to the conceptual framework for this study. Based on the figure, the dependent variable is the perceptions among student UiTM Seremban 3 on the child maltreatment incident, while the independent variable is mental health and income instability. This study will measure the level of perceptions among student UiTM Seremban 3 towards child maltreatment issues in Malaysia and the relationship between mental health and income instability towards child maltreatment incident.
So as you guys can see, the table beside me is the hypothesis development. The first is to determine the level of perceptions of the students UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia, which here is the hypothesis for the HO is there is a low level of the perception of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia. While for the H1, there is a high level of the perspection of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia. As for the second one is to investigate the correlation between the mental health and perspection among the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident, which the hypothesis here is for the HO is there is no relationship between the mental health and the perceptions of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia. While for the H1, there is a relationship between the mental health and perceptions of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia. As lastly, to analyze whether there is a possible significant association between the income instability and perceptions of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident. As for the hypothesis, HO, there is no relationship between the income instability and the perception of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident. While for the H1, there's a relationship between the income instability and the perception of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia.
Next, we will explain the research methodology used in the study. First and foremost, the type of research design used in the study is from the quantitative research, which is cross-sectional study. Next, the unit of analysis for this research involved the student of UiTM Seremban 3, which consists of 3 faculties in UiTM Seremban 3, which are FSPP, FSKM, and FSR. Furthermore, the sampling technique which has been used is simple random sampling for this research study to ensure the population has the same and equal chance of being selected for the sample. Next, we continue with the sample size, where in this research, 360 respondents has been involved and the data measurement used is Likert scale. In addition, data analysis used to measure the collected data are descriptive analysis and Pearson coefficient. While for the data collection, there are 4 sections involved in the questionnaire survey, which are demographic for section A, level perception of student for section B, mental health for section C, and income instability for section D. Next, we move to findings. The questionnaire survey is distributed to 360 respondents of UiTM Seremban students. Based on the result, this survey contains more female respondents in the sample, which is 59.7% compared to male. Furthermore, 64.2% of the respondents which were involved in this study come from the age of 22 years and above. Next, the majority marital status of the respondent is single, which is 81.9%. Additionally, out of the 3 selected faculties in the survey, FSPP had the highest percentage of respondents, which is 55%, and the majority of the current academic undertaking of the respondent is in the degree level. Last but not least, the highest respondent is coming from AM2 to 8 program, which consists of 20.3% of the respondent.
Next, for the main finding table beside me, as you can see here, the first variable is level of perceptions of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia by using the descriptive analysis. As the result, mean 3.88, range 4 and standard deviation is 0.792. Therefore, we will reject HO and accept H1. For the second variable is mental health. It is to investigate the correlation between the mental health and perceptions of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident by using the Pearson correlation. As for the result also, the value is 0.722 with the SIG 0.001. Therefore, HO was rejected while H1 was accepted. And lastly, for the second variable, which is income instability, it is to analyze whether there is a possible positive significant association between the income instability and perception of the student UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident by using the Pearson correlation. As the result, the value is 0.772, 0.001. Therefore, HO was rejected while H1 was accepted. The first recommendation to overcome the issue of the child maltreatment in Malaysia is by providing a mental health screening for the low-income group. A mental health screening as defined by the Medline Plus 2022 is a standard collection of the question that a person responds to it in order to assist a healthcare professional in looking for the indicator of the mental condition. Hence, an early of the treatment is important to identify and ensure the individual mental in a good condition. When left untreated, mental illness can have devastating effect on the people's mental, behavioral and physical health. For example, healthcare scheme of PERKA B40 which aim to improve the target community states of the health by providing a several program. The second recommendation is to practice and execute the school-based education program at every level, including the primary and secondary level, to combat the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia. The location of the school is very crucial for promoting the health, particularly for the initiative that raise the awareness of the abusing. Its aim of improving the teaching and learning processes and also directly affect how well children perform and are formed in the sphere of social life. The usage of the movie in class activity, video game and also parent education material will generally be very beneficial for the school activity. For instance, one of them, the Safe Protection Personal Child Program, use role-play and video montage to improve their self-defense ability of the targeted group, which range in age of 3 to 10 years old.
Next, we move to the limitations of the research. The first limitation is data collection. The method that has been used for the data collection for this study is through the distributions of question A via online platforms such as WhatsApp and Google Mail. However, during the distributions of the question A, the researcher found that the survey get less response by the student of ULM Seremban. The reason that leads to the issue is there are a lot of spam message survey received by the student that cause the student to reluctantly answer the survey. Thus, the future researcher can consider distributing the question A survey physically, such as collecting data in the focal points such as the library and the food court. The next limitation is statistical technique. In this study, the researcher used two statistical techniques which consist of descriptive test and Pearson correlation test. Minimal use of statistical method by researcher limit the area of study and restrict the studies to be implemented for the topic. In the attempt of the future study, the researcher would like to suggest using various types of statistical technique to interpret the collected data, such as by including multiple regression tests. This will enable the researcher to study the topic from the different areas and analyze the relationship between the variables.
In conclusion, as a reasonable individual, the prevention of the child maltreatment with the defeatist mindset must be avoided despite the fact that it is widespread and complex issue with numerous causes. We can see here that the child maltreatment issue in Malaysia is ongoing. Therefore, as a proof here from the research study above, the independent variable of the study, namely as a mental health and also income instability, are closely related to the dependent variable, which is the perceptions of the student at the UiTM Seremban 3 on the factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia by using the Pearson correlation analysis to determine those relationships. As the result, the researcher have found that one of the most related factor that influencing the child maltreatment incident in Malaysia is the income instability of the parents.